тижня нововибраний голова провінційної прогресивно-консервативної партії Онтаріо і голова парламентської опозиції в Онтаріо Патрік Браун запросив провідників місцевої української громади до провінційного парламенту, що в Квінс-парку, на дружню зустріч.
На товариську зустріч у провінційному парламенті Онтаріо всіх привітала помічниця партійного управління прогресивно-консервативної партії Онтаріо Наталія Кусендова.
Ми щасливі, що канадсько-українська громада прийшла сьогодні на першу зустріч лідерів. Канада є домом для 1 мільйона 200 тисяч українців, 330 тисяч з яких живуть в провінції Онтаріо. За 119 років українці зробили величезні внески в економіку, соціальну та культурну сфери Канади і провінції Онтаріо.
Весело привітав усіх консервативний член провінційного парламенту Джан Якабузький.
We're looking forward to building this relationship and continuing to grow our understanding of you as a community and recognizing the tremendous contribution that you make to our country, Canada, and our province, and we'll be part of it with you. So thank you very much.
Від української громади говорив голова Конгресу українців Канади.
I think there's a great opportunity for Canada not just to continue to give, but also to develop stronger relationships. And this is what Patrick and I talked about earlier. Thanks to Prime Minister Harper, we have pushed through the Canada-Ukraine Free Trade Agreement. Long overdue, and it's finally on the books. And Ontario has an incredible opportunity to develop strong trade and commercial relationships with Ukraine. Ukraine needs it because they've had their traditional trading partner, Russia, cut them off at the knees and has constantly created economic pressure on them for political reasons. And now Canada has a great opportunity. We have a strong aerospace industry that can partner with Ukraine's aerospace industry. Mining, resource development, the nuclear sector, IT sector, you name it, manufacturing. There's a huge opportunity for Canadian businesses in Ukraine. And one thing I'd ask if you could press upon is that the Ontario government focus on Ukraine because there's a tremendous opportunity and it's a tremendous win-win.
Нововибраний голова провінційної прогресивно-консервативної партії і голова парламентської опозиції в Онтаріо Патрік Браун гарно привітав усіх, запрошуючи нашу громаду стати партнерами економічної відбудови провінції Онтаріо.
We're so lucky for the contributions the Ukrainian community have made in Canada. Since the first wave of immigration in 1891, you look at the incredible contributions in every aspect of life, and Canada is lucky. Ontario is lucky. And you know, when we talk about why the Ukrainian community is so important and why we're having a dinner like this, is we're not going to have a provincial election for 2 years and 8 months. Not that I'm counting. But I want to ask you now, and I want you to think about this. I have seen people make incredible contributions like Ted, like Yuri, and I want you to think, if you have a friend or a family member or someone in the community that you think would make an excellent riding president or MPP or cabinet minister, encourage them to run, because I'm hoping that from the Ukrainian community we're going to find people who are natural leaders, who can stand for the community. We intend to form the next government, and I want to make sure that we have some incredible Ukrainian members of provincial parliament in our caucus, shaping our policies around the cabinet table. We're not here to ask for your support at election time. We want you to build this party with us. And that's why we're having it in the caucus room, because this is ground zero for us. And we're really excited to work with the community, because we believe that as progressive conservatives, the values that we've always fought for on human rights and justice and freedom are very much values that the Ukrainian community has always stood beside. And I have to say, you look at the traditions of the conservative movement, the conservative family in Canada has always been in lockstep with the Ukrainian community. I think of former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney being the first, leading Canada to be the first country to recognize independent Ukraine. You look at Prime Minister Stephen Harper's unequivocal approach against Vladimir Putin's aggression, and I'm proud to be a conservative when I see leadership like I've seen with Brian Mulroney and Stephen Harper on Ukraine, and that is the way we will always be, because it's in our DNA as conservatives. And I understand the Ukrainian community is about hard work, it's about tradition, it's about family. That's how we describe ourselves as conservatives.
Патрік Браун відмітив присутнього федерального депутата канадського парламенту пана Теда Опеца і його непохитну допомогу Україні в ці скрутні часи війни з Росією.
Stephen Harper is standing with Ukraine. None of this is rhetoric. None of this is talking points. Vladimir Putin, as we can see right now, is the greatest global threat there is. ISIS poses definitely a tremendous threat on the world stage. But Vladimir Putin is threatening not only world peace and global security, the way it's never been challenged since the Cold War, but he's now encroaching on a potential conflict with NATO. Having his jets fly into Turkish airspace was reckless, and it was deliberate, and he's pushing our buttons. And something is going to pop if we don't put this guy in his place. And the Ukrainian people are holding the line. They are the vanguard of this fight against Vladimir Putin. And God bless the Ukrainian people, and God bless all the soldiers on that front line tonight.
Після смачної вечері всіх запрошено до спільної знимки на сходах провінційного парламенту. Тоді ми мали нагоду на коротку розмову із новим головою прогресивно-консервативної партії Онтаріо.
Far too often political parties come to a community and say, I want your support at election time. We don't have an election for a very long time, not for 2 years and 8 months. And I'm asking the Ukrainian community to build this party together, prepare to be the next government of Ontario with us, not just as supporters at election time, but as riding presidents, as candidates, as MPPs, as future cabinet ministers, because I really believe the Ukrainian community shares progressive conservative values of tradition, of hard work, of the importance of family. And if you look at the history of the conservative movement, it's very much been intertwined with the history of the Ukrainian community, whether it's Brian Mulroney recognizing the independent Ukraine or Stephen Harper's steadfast defense against Vladimir Putin's aggression. We are very excited to work with the Ukrainian community who share so many common values.
No, you haven't been here for too long, but one of the requests that Paul Grod mentioned is a place for the recognition of the Holodomor, where we could gather and share that experience with everyone else. How probable do you think that is, or what are the mechanisms that need to be made to get that to happen?
Well, it's long overdue, and I know the request has been into the government for the north side of Queen's Park. I think a monument there would be entirely appropriate, and I'll make it clear to the government that they would have our full support to do so, and if they won't do it, then we're going to do it in 3 years when we're in government, because it is important to understand our history and our roots, and certainly it's important to know both moments of adversity in history and moments of triumph, and if you can't learn from adversity, then it's a mistake.